We on? All right. Hi, folks. This is Jace Campbell with ReallyLocal Marketing. I'd like to thank you guys for joining us today. We're going to wait just a couple of minutes here. No, we're going to wait a couple of seconds here. We've got some people still filing in, and appreciate you guys getting here when you did. Shay, can you ask Ty if he's going to be on this with us? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and call Julian also. Yeah, we'll do a join me meeting, and I'll call him on the phone. We'll patch it through. Okay, thanks. All right, a couple more people here. It looks like let's go ahead and get started. I know you guys are busy. We want to get you in and get the information that you need and get you back out to work again. Quick introduction. My name is Jace Campbell. I'm the president of ReallyLocal Marketing here in beautiful Austin, Texas. You can see there our picture of a beautiful sunrise there in Austin, taken by our friends at Harmon Friday. A little bit about us. ReallyLocal Marketing, we've been around for a few years here. Started out in the social media space, working with mom and pop businesses, and we've kind of grown from just social media to everything digital. We do websites, we do full websites, mobile websites, text messaging, email marketing, SEO, AdWords, pay-per-click, kind of the whole bundle. So what we put together for you guys today is specifically for the lawn care and landscaping professionals out there. I know there's a lot of you get calls every week from marketers offering you the next best thing, and the point we have for you today is that you already have the next big thing to drive hot leads, and that is your website. And so we're going to talk to you about how to drive revenue from your website without going and using a service that charges you $30 or $40 per lead that you may or may not get business from. I did tell you that first off today, well, here's our agenda. We're going to go over a simple tool for doubling profits from your existing clients. Actually, I said in the first 3 minutes we would cover that, so we're going to get to that very quickly here. We're going to talk about laser-focused leads by zip code, and how to use Facebook to get new clients who are ready to buy without shopping for price. These are people who, they're not calling for a quote where you spend your time giving 10 quotes to land one new client. Instead, these are people who they're ready to buy. They're ready to buy, and that's the best type of prospect to have. And lastly, we're going to talk about why it is critical to replace your competitors at the top of Google and how to do it. One theme we'll talk about several times is location, location, location. For any business, no matter what it is, the difference in your service-based business is that you go to your clients, right? And so you're not investing in real estate there at the strip mall where you've got a lot of foot traffic. Instead, your investment in traffic and in your location is how people find you online and how people see your brand. So we've got a good treat for you there with we start talking about Google in a minute. At any point during this webinar, please type your questions in the chat box there below. We'll answer as many of them on air as we can. Kind of it applies to everyone especially. If you have anything that's very specific about your business, what you're currently doing, then maybe we can take that offline afterwards. You can always call us, and you can chat with us on our website also. But let's jump into this. Let's jump into the first item here, which is doubling profits from your existing clients. And some of you may be doing this, but most of you probably are not doing this. And it's super simple. So first off, I'd like to talk about lifetime customer value. Okay. So we all know that your bread and butter service, where you generate your client base, is from your mow, blow, and goes, right? You probably get anywhere from $25, $35 to $45 per mowing. We're gonna say we'll say $30 average is what you get for one of those. And say a client calls you, whether they're in a weekly program or a bi-weekly program with you, they get say 20 cuts a year. Okay, 20 cuts a year, and so they get $600 a year in revenue from them. And this is one of your loss leaders, so you're probably only making 10% on this. And I realize these numbers are very loose estimates, but the point I'm trying to make here is that, let's see, $60 per year in gross profit. The point we're making here is that this is not where this is where you pay your minimal bills, but this is not where you're putting money in your pocket. And you know where you put your money in your pocket is from your enhancements, right? You might do a couple of color changes a year, maybe $200 a year in color changes. Maybe you do another $150 in leaf removal. Maybe you do another $200 in irrigation repairs, right? So those enhancements is where you're really building your revenue, because you probably have closer to 25 to 30% margins on this time. We'll say 25%, right? So we'll round that to $110. Make it easy. That's not very right. We'll make it round it to $135. Make it easy, right? So for each customer that you only mow their yard, maintain their yard, you're making $60 a year. But for the customers where you're doing both maintaining and enhancing, you're making almost $200 a year, right? So we can see how valuable those enhancements are. So the question is, how do we get more of those enhancements? You've coached your lawn teams in how to talk to the customers and point out things that they could be doing for them. But a lot of times these enhancements come up at times of the year when they might not need their yard mowed, right? And so what you're trying to do is to keep them, keep your brand top of mind to your customers, and so they don't go falling for someone else that comes around, maybe leaving a door hanger or sending them direct mail, offering to come around and pick up their leaves or prune their trees or change colors, right? And we do that with email marketing. So here we're talking about strategic email marketing to your existing customers. These aren't emails that go out to random folks in zip codes and things like that. This is people who already know who you are. They've already been happy with your services at some point in time, and they just need a reminder that you're there and you do more than just cut lawns. So here's just a list of some ideas that you would set up in terms of email templates. You could send out emails in early spring and late summer around color changes, around tree pruning, leaf removal, right? Irrigation repair. It's probably one of your higher margin items, higher margin services, depending on how large the facility is. And for some folks, they're willing to spend a good money on maintaining that irrigation system after they've installed it. So that's definitely an opportunity for you to make higher margins. Fertilizer and weed control, and lastly, tips on water conservation and how to maintain a healthy lawn. So once again, these people don't have to be customers of yours right this minute. They could be people that you have been, that were customers of yours 5 years ago. You have their email address. They were happy with you and they just moved on because they fell for the next person that came along and offered them $5 cheaper on their mow, and they came back to them and they came around and pick up and said, we can pick up your leaves right now, and they said, sure, let's do it. So this is staying top of mind, and you can do these email campaigns very easily. Actually, you could use MailChimp. If you have less than 500 emails, you can actually 500 email contacts, it costs you nothing. But through someone like MailChimp or Constant Contact, it maybe costs anywhere from $15 to $30 to $40 a month, depending on how many people you have in your contact list. But it's a very, very cost-effective way to stay in front of your clients, right, and to really maximize the client value for you through other channels than just how your guys are out selling, how your lawn care teams are out selling when they're performing services. So that was that. I told you we get to that quickly. Now I'd like to talk about laser focused leads by zip code and using Facebook to get new clients ready to buy, and actually ties in with the leads by zip code. So if we were giving you, if we were sending you 20 new clients, what's more valuable for you? 20 clients spread out across your city, or 20 clients in one zip code? And that's an easy answer. That's probably why you may have looked before at doing every door mailers through the U.S. Postal Service to a zip code, or perhaps you've hired a team to go out and do door hangers for everyone in a zip code. We all know that can be rather costly compared to at least some other methods. That email marketing is one of them. The next one, though, is Facebook. With Facebook, we're able to target your posts and ads about your business, so raising brand awareness of who you are, advertising any specials you want to offer without discounting your value and couponing yourself to death, and also for you to be able to get those digital word-of-mouth referrals from clients who are already happy with your services. They have a beautiful lawn, you've helped do it for them, and they don't mind telling their friends about you because they're proud. You might have some clients that want to take credit for it themselves, but most clients actually would love to be a net promoter for you. So here's a quick example. Here's let's see. This is from our restaurant advertising business. It's called ReallyLocal Dining, where we focus on restaurants. But here's an example of what we look at when we look at our zip code maps, right? So this is Austin, Texas. This is downtown. We've got some affluent neighborhoods around downtown here. One of them that's one of the hottest zip codes in the country because of a lot of live music events that happen is right here in 78704. There's Zilker Parks right there in 78704. So say you wanted to concentrate your business just on this area. So we're going to jump over here, and we're going to first look at what would happen if you were to, let's look at if you try to boost a post yourself, right? So you want people to see your post. This is one of our clients down in San Antonio. You want to boost a post, and here you go. You have the opportunity to reach more people through that are the page, that are friends of your page, fans of your page, and their friends. Or you can be more specific about your targeting, and you can target here by country, region, or city, right? That's as specific as you can get. That's as specific as you can get. And these maximum budgets down here, they don't give you a whole lot of options in terms of how you are optimizing your costs. Are you trying to target people based on social impressions, or based on actions, or do you want clicks? What are you trying to get out of this, right? It's very broad targeting. But what we do is we have software that plugs in directly with the back end of Facebook, and we are able to target at a much more precise level. So for instance, we look at we'll look at some targeting here, and we'll look at that same. We're going to go into our targeting software, and instead of our location just being Austin, our location here is going to be that 78704. Oh, I didn't do that right. 78704. Right? There we go. That's that zip code in Austin. We're wanting to target everyone who is 26 to 65 years old. I say 65 because that's the top end of Facebook. Anyone older than that is still going to be targeted as well. We're going to look at people who are married. Let's look at people who are married, because those people I would, in this zip code, I would say, living here myself, are most likely to be married. If we jump over here and we look at, I actually pulled up the 78704 zip code profile, and I can see here that if I scroll down, I can see here that home sales in this zip code are approaching $400,000. So most likely these are married people that live in the houses in this zip code, right? So back over here to our targeting software. So we're also going to say they're married, and education level. Well, I would say college graduate, but I tell you, if you live in this zip code and you're paying $400,000 for a house, then you are probably a prime candidate to need your lawn maintained, right? So we're just going to create this targeting here, and we're going to see what it tells us. So it's telling us here, there are 7,600 people that we can target in that zip code, right? And just for some perspective here, we're talking about probably anywhere from 50 cents to $2.50 for every 1,000 times your ad is seen. But what we do is we take it one step further, and it's actually by click. And so that's why it's kind of a wide range there. The more efficient we are and the better that we write your ads and the more engaging your content is, the higher your click-through rates are and the lower your cost is. See, it's advantageous to Facebook to show its users ads and posts that they want to see. Because if they don't show them ads they want to see and the click-through rate goes down and businesses don't see the return on investment from this, then Facebook loses its credibility. And in the long run, for Facebook to have credibility as an advertising medium, it has to optimize the clicks with the price that people are willing to pay and that businesses see value in that. So that's a quick overview of how we're able to laser target, that's important, laser target leads by zip code. And whether or not you're picking out zip codes that your customers, you already have quite a few customers in and you'd love for their neighbors to see, or whether you're picking new zip codes that you don't have a lot of business in, but they're more affluent neighborhoods, maybe they're large lots, a lot of irrigation systems, a lot of trees. You drive through and you can see they've done a lot in terms of enhancements, right? And so those are the ones you can go out, and they may be happy with who they're using currently, but all it takes is that brand awareness, and once they are looking for someone, then you're right there, right? And so how they're looking for someone is if they go on Google, or if they see you on Facebook, or if they have a referral, those digital word of mouth referrals from their friends on Facebook. So next, I would like to talk about what people are doing on Facebook. Well, actually, you know what? We're gonna jump over something here, and I'd like to bring Julian in. He's on the phone for us, and Julian is our SEO expert. If you can hold on just a second, so we're going to jump down here to this bullet point on why it's critical to replace your competitors at the top of Google. So let me, just 1 second here, and I'm going to switch over to my phone, and we're going to get,
Okay, guys. Well, gotta say we got a real treat for you here. We have a real tech guru from Sunnyside, California here to talk to us a little bit about search engines. Julian, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yeah, right here, Jace.
All right, great. So, guys, Julian is the inbound marketing manager at Nexus. He and I met several years ago here in Austin at South by Southwest. Julian is an avid blogger. You might have read about his articles around the web. He's definitely an authority on the field of SEO. He's been doing this for about 7 years, and that's why I rely on him still for advice to this day. So, Julian, your time is very valuable. Thanks for joining us this day. I really appreciate it.
No, anytime. I'm really happy to be here with you guys.
Great. So, guys, just to start out here, if you can, we've been having some great interactions so far through the messages, the chat box here on the webinar. If you can, tell us what you're doing currently to attract people to your website. Perhaps you're doing door hangers or direct mail. Maybe it's on your business cards or Facebook or AdWords. Tell us how you're driving people to your website, right? Because that's the idea behind your website is driving hot leads. Also, if we can snag a bit more of Julian's time here, we'd like to do an SEO audit for one of you guys on the webinar today. So if you'll type in your website and where you're from, Julian, just so you know, we're talking to people in the home and commercial services space today. So these would be lawn care maintenance and landscape services. And so, guys, just type your website in there, and we'll pick one out later on, and we'll see if we can't get Julian to do an SEO audit for us. So, Julian, while people are responding to us and asking questions, you might give us kind of just a quick refresher here, a perspective on 2014, what is changing at Google, and the changes coming down the pike for SEO.
Good question. Yeah, I mean, that's It's always changing. So, what to look for in 2014, guys, is trying to stay on your content and getting social signals. Google turns that notch up every day and starts showing more authority to websites that have higher popularity through the search and social media channels. So, one takeaway from this is you may not be getting your customers from Facebook, but definitely Google's looking at it. Make sure you guys focus in on social media.
Yep, absolutely. So you've got these questions coming in here. Jerry in Tulsa actually asked a question here about Penguin. And actually, so Jerry, if you don't mind, we're going to come back to that question. We're going to cover that just a bit later on. It looks like several other people are asking about AdWords, and some people say they use AdWords, spend some good money with AdWords. Would you mind kind of explaining the difference between AdWords and SEO for people who are new to this?
Sure, absolutely. Give me a second. When I do these webinars, I actually have a particular screen here that I show people. All right, here it is.
Okay.
It's a really nice way of displaying the search engines and where the ads and the organic and so on and so forth. So what you're looking at here is a screenshot of Google. This is the keyword search query, cheap hotel in London. And what's highlighted in red is the AdWords. And this is all in red here, down the side and across the top. These are all the pay-per-click positionings. And the difference is these customers are paying to be in this position. They're not paying for the spot itself, but they're being paid, Google's being paid every time someone clicks on that link. So you end up having to pay every time a user clicks, whether they engage your brand, they follow up with you, or they even give you a call, you are paying per click. The main difference is here with organic and below, the first organic listing here is Easy Victorian Hotel and Umani Hotels London. You can see is the long-term sustainability in SEO, it is a little bit slower process. It does take a little bit longer to get this organic position, whereas pay-per-click, you get that very fast. The organic positioning, you don't pay per click, and you're not paying for every time someone clicks on that. So whether it's someone who is interested, uninterested, or it's just your friends or your family or anyone that knows you, you're not paying per click, and it ends up being more cost-effective in the long term.
Right.
Recommendations, try and do both. If you guys can make it work and make it happen, I would try both. But that's kind of the differences between the two.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we recommend to our clients when they have the budget to make it work. Then we try to get them as much real estate on the screen as possible. So I'd like to go back to Jerry's question actually around Penguin. So people here, they see the headlines about these Google updates, Penguin, Panda, different ones. Can you talk a little bit about that and what it means exactly?
Yeah, and I'm not too surprised, Jace. There's a huge movement in this space, and actually Forbes did an article on it back in January about this Penguin update. So it's got a lot of media coverage on it, and I'm not surprised. It's one of the questions that came up today. It's a question that I get frequently. This little graph here shows, what Penguin is all about. It's keyword stuffy, spammy links, low quality links, and over optimization. What you want to take away from this technical jargon, I know this is maybe new to some people, is deceptive and manipulative tactics with Google doesn't work. You're going to try and deceive Google, they're going to catch you. And that's what Penguin's all about.
Yep, I was holding this question back. It's funny that this comes up. So Paul, Paul, you are in New Orleans. Paul asked a question here. He said he has several contractors that reach out to him each month. Let's see what he says. They want to sell me backlinks. Not sure what this means, but they tell me it will help with my website ranking. So it kind of hits directly to what you're talking about here, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I'll show you the difference. So there's good positive links. If you can ask maybe Paul in the chat window, or we can get Paul to ask us how these people are reaching out to him, maybe we can find out a little bit more.
Yeah.
certain ways how people reach out to you are going to tell you right away if it's going to be something toxic or something great. I'm not saying links are bad. I'm saying low quality.
So Paul says email here. Yeah, Paul says email.
Now, are they emailing him directly through his website? Is that what they're doing?
I don't know that. Let's see what he.
Well, we'll find out here in just a minute.
Yes, he says yes. Yes, they are.
Okay, they are. They are? Okay, got it. So this is called, this is a direct reach out by a company trying to sell a sort of SEO technique by selling backlinks to increase rankings. And what these services do is basically they point a lot of authority to your website and increase your rankings and give you a slight little bump. Unfortunately, with Penguin, you might get tagged with, right here, the low quality link. So you want to be careful where you're doing. And if they're reaching out through his websites, normally these are spammers outside this country that are trying to reach out to him. And, you know, they're not necessarily trying to scam him. They're just giving him something that's not relevant anymore. So, Paul, stay away from that.
Right, absolutely. And that just leads us into exactly why we, term our services future-proof SEO, because we, we're obviously executing on the model that you helped us build a couple of years ago, but it is being proper about these techniques and not using the Spanish backlinks. So that's absolutely. Well, I tell you, Julian, your time is valuable here. I wanted to see if we can get you maybe to take a spin around. We have got we've got about, let's see, maybe 24 people here who put their websites in. I would say I'm randomly picking one, but let's see, Mario's from Sarasota, Florida, has put his website in 4 times. So I think Mario really wants us to check his website out. So if you don't mind, I'd love for you to just take a spin around his site and maybe do a little SEO audit for us. You have time for that, Julian?
Yeah, no problem. I'll take care of
it.
Sweet. Just provide me the domain. I don't have visibility to the chat window.
Okay, sure. Yep. It's RamirezLawns.com. RamirezLawns.com.
Okay, got it. All right, guys, I'm going to be pulling it up here in just a second.
Mario, I hope Mario that you're not on the top of Google and we can't say you're doing everything perfect here. So and I know, okay, so the site's pulled up there. Julia, I know you can go into this all day long. This is what you do. But maybe can you just maybe talk about pull 2 things off this that you would recommend Mario kind of look into?
Well, here, yeah, absolutely. Let me talk about some of the good things that I see here, because Mario, by the way, you've got a nice little site here. It does a great job of getting a user knowing exactly what you do with your website. So, when I land, I see grass in the background. It's great. There is definitely some room for improvements from an on-site perspective. Quick little explanation for those people who don't know is there's 2 tactics to increasing your rankings. There's called on-site optimization. That's basically just working on the website. And there's off-site optimization, which is what we talked a little bit about, people manipulating it before and this popularity building. Mario, recommendations to take from this call is, and I'll highlight it here for you, is you're putting a lot of emphasis around the name of the company, where I think some keywords would be really helpful. I've done some research in this space before. So lawn service is a great word. Another keyword is lawn care. And it's just replicated all through the site, and it's done quite a bit. So it's a little redundant. There's about 4 locations just above the fold. You guys got to recognize when you're building a website, your above the fold real estate, the real estate that basically is from here down to about, here, is the real estate that someone gets the impression of. Here the name is replicated so many times within the front page on this fold that it's just too redundant. You know, maybe talking a little bit about lawn care services, talking about different things. I see actually here. Let me use my mouse here to reach down.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's a great point, Julian. And actually, so Mario, if people are looking for Ramirez Lawn Service, they're probably going to find you here. So you've got your name all over the place for that. But Julian's bringing up a great point in terms of those other keywords for people to find your business.
Right. Exactly. And that's what you're looking for is you're telling Google that you want to be known for M. Ramirez. You really want to be telling Google you want to be known for lawn care services, lawn services, you know, upkeep and things like that. So just something to keep in mind, you know, and these different things.
That's great. That's great. Well, Julian, you know, we talked earlier about the popularity of a site and the off-site techniques that are used. Do you mind just going just a little bit deeper dive here with Mario? I know that for a lot of people, this idea of SEO is rather abstract, and I'd love for our participants just to kind of see what you see on the back end when you dive into a site like this, and kind of see what the search engines are seeing. How does that work? You mind just real quickly maybe taking us on a brief tour of that?
Sure, absolutely. There's a popular tool set that I like to use. There's hundreds out there, guys. I like to use Ahrefs. It's a great little tool. Let me just grab the domain here while I pull this up and hit search. Ahrefs is a indexer of the internet. And what they do is basically, like Google, they look at the internet and they scour all these websites. They have their own crawlers, and they collect a lot of database and a lot of history on who's linking to who. And that's what this tool set's about. It's who links to who. So basically, who's the popular kid in high school, right? That's what this tool set's about. And I really like it because it displays it nice and efficiently. Okay, so in a moment, we're going to check, and we'll test my experience to the challenge here. I'm taking a look at this. There's only one backlink that Mr. Ramirez has, and it's from Waterfall Irrigation. Great website. I don't even need to go to it, and it's got some great, it's probably got some great content on there. It's got a domain authority of 42, but he's only being known for M. Ramirez Lawn Service. So, in a moment, where is he from again? Where's Mario from?
Mario is from Sarasota, Florida.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to put lawn care service or lawn service and insert, the city he's from. And we're going to check and see if we can find him on the front page. I have a strong feeling, since Mr. Ramirez has not focused too much on the popularity building, that there isn't a lot going on here. This graph should be loaded up with websites. You guys can see here, it says one phrase found. If you look at any of the customers from ReallyLocal Marketing, you can see this is going to be one phrase of 600. And there's a lot of different, websites linking back that are relevant. Now, like I mentioned a moment ago, Mr. Ramirez has a very good link from Waterfall Irrigation. But let's test my experience, and let's do
and that's a great point you made there. Is you see 600, our clients see 600 links there, but they're authoritative links. They're quality links that have to do with your business, right? And that's absolutely key. There we go. Well, let's see. What do we see here?
Okay, there's nothing here on the front above the fold, which is about 80% of the clicks. Okay, we're going to keep scrolling down. I mean,
Mario, you probably see some of your competitors there, so sorry for giving them any stage time here, but we're trying to find you.
Yeah, no, I don't see him here on the front page, and that's what I assumed. When you're talking and you're looking at a website and it's got no links, there is zero chance in 2014 you're going to rank. So,
right.
Right.
Well, that's great. No, I tell you what, Julian, that's you could take us down this path in a lot of different tools that you have. This was a good overview for people, though, just to see kind of what it looks like from the back end. And I'm sure Mario is very appreciative of this, so he knows the direction to go. Could you just maybe give us, kind of wrap this up here with some things that we can do, and there are things that we actually do here at Really Local Marketing to stay within the guidelines of Google and play ball with Google how they want us to this, here in 2014, not using old tactics and black hat techniques and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. With Google, it's all about putting out good content, putting out good information to your users, and if you do that, they'll reward you with some good content. Now, I wish Google's was as gracious as they say they are, but with a little push from Really Local Marketing, you guys can really take advantage. Let me show you guys a little something here that you guys can do to try and work on it, and here's some of the things that Really Local Marketing focuses on. There's a lot of different ways to get a link back to your website. There's directories links, there's article links, there's press releases, there's social signals from social networks, there's blog posts. There's so many different ways, and I've just covered just a few of them. So many different ways. What you want to try and do is you want to make it look as natural as possible. That's what Google's looking for. And when you do that, Google's going to reward you. They're going to give you the right authority to a article that you produce. Lawn care services, guys. Let's off the cuff here. Let's kind of think about something. What could be a good blog post? So in the lawn care business, things talking about your lawn, tending to your garden, and so on and so forth. Well, what if you guys released top 5 ways to see through the 2014 drought and keeping your lawn green?
Yes, that's it hits home pretty well for us here in Texas. I'm sure it does for you guys too in California.
Yeah, we got a little drought over here in California, but that's just off the cuff. If you give it a little thought and you just kind of try and help people and stay relevant, that would be great. And putting these articles, getting the sharing, getting the Facebook experience, getting the social signals out there is key. And that's really what you guys want to focus in on, is putting out good content, good information that really gets shared. Absolutely.
Julian, I tell you, that's this has been good. We've got a number of questions that are coming through the chat box here, but we've covered some of them pretty specific questions for people's websites. So we're going to take some of those offline, and we can talk one-on-one after the webinar about those. Your time is valuable, and I'm going to let you go now. We really appreciate your time once again.
Anytime, Chase. Nice talking to you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Great.
So we really appreciate Julian's time stopping by this afternoon. It's very valuable time, and I'm glad we've got him on our side here in this conquest against Facebook and all those spammers out there trying to illegitimately get to the top of Google. So anyway, let's jump back into our Facebook lead generation now. I think the best way to show you kind of about this idea of finding highly qualified, ready to buy, hot leads on Facebook is to show you some examples of some companies here in Austin, some lawn service companies, and some that are doing some things right and could be doing other things better. But what I've done here is I've gone ahead and pulled up a couple of these. So the first one, Austin Lawn Service. We come across this, and they got a good looking page here. They have they've customized their photos at least. But we see they have 4 ratings. Until they get 10 ratings, these stars are not going to show up, but they have good ratings. Right there, it shows it's going to be 5 stars, and there's a 1 2-star in there. I'm sorry, there's 3 5-stars and 1 2-star so far. So those will show up eventually. They've got 216 likes, but they have only 3 people talking about this. And so let's first off talk about what that means. That means that in the last week, only 3 people have engaged with this page in some way, so that it was then shared on their newsfeed, on their it was shared on the news feed of all of their friends. And that's not all of their friends. Facebook uses this algorithm called EdgeRank to determine which friends want to see the things that you're posting based on how often you've interacted with them and how often other friends of yours have interacted with them also. But basically, that's kind of our judge of how much free publicity they've gotten to this point, or earned media. It's the term in the business, is earned media. So 216 likes, though, and only 3 people talking about this means they're probably not posting very interesting content. And so if we scroll down here and we see they posted here about their hiring. They're hiring looks like a technician, and so that was kind of all that post was. You go down a little bit further, and they posted a couple of times on one day here about pea gravel and decomposed granite. Great information, but someone can't actually see those unless they see any of that information unless they click on it. So images are great to attract attention, but they're not great when there's a lot of writing on it. In fact, Facebook wouldn't even allow you to advertise this post. Facebook's rule is that whenever you advertise and you post a photo, 20% of the photo can only be text. So if they judge that 25% of the photo is text, then they disallow the ad, right? So keep scrolling down here, and we see they've linked to their new website and some things like that. So they're not posting very often. You know, they went from September to January before they posted again. And I would think that the winter time is actually a great chance to sell some of those enhanced services. So, yeah, that is the Austin Lawn Service. Now let's jump over to someone who is doing a bit better in one area, and that is Longhorn Lawns. So Longhorn Lawns, they've got 16 ratings, so they are showing up already. Once again, they had 374 fans, but only 2 people talking about them, right? If we scroll down, they are not too regularly. I guess once a month it looks like they were making a post, but they're actually showing, they're showing some of their awards. Their Angie's List award. I'm sure they're paying good money for that. And let's see here, they're doing some great things in terms of connecting with their customers, but once again, it's not very often, and they're not doing it. It's not engaging enough material so that people want to keep up with them. Ideally, these posts would be seen on people's news feeds of their fans, and just as importantly, of people who aren't their fans yet but live in those zip codes they're targeting, right? And also, then they would have ads showing up here on the side of the screen. And so the last one we're going to look at is Cutting Edge Lawn Service. And Cutting Edge has done a great job here. They've only had their Facebook page up for for a month or two, and maybe a couple more months than that actually. They only have 3 ratings, so they don't have any of their ratings showing yet. But if we scroll down, they have 619 fans and 126 people talking about this. So right away, I know that they have very engaging content, right? So if we go down here and we see, and absolutely, here we go. They've got, you'll see they have their company mascot here. Let's see, my computer's loading. A little frozen. Their company mascot here is in a lot of their marketing materials, but they've got great verbiage, right? So they've talking about it. They're making links back to their website for testimonials, right? More images. Now, the great thing about this image right here is that will show up on people's news feeds, and if they wanted to advertise this, they could, because that right there is taking up less than 20% of the screen, right? And so you see, those are the types of posts that get engagement. 17 people like this, right? 4 people like this. Other one over here. More of their mascot here. 13 people and 8 people. So they're posting very frequently. They're putting great posts out. A lot of images, a lot more images than I would expect. You would think that you might also incorporate more images of lawns that you service and kind of show off your customers. I mean, you obviously have to get their permission for that, but show off their customers and have your own, lawn of the month club, if you will, for your business, for the neighborhoods that you service, to show that love back to your customers, and obviously they're proud to be using you anyway. I I can see from this that they probably are not advertising just because they're not, 619 fans. If they weren't advertising, it's probably only being seen by 60 to 100 people. 60 to 100 of those fans are seeing the posts. Now, once people start to like a post, right, once they get a thumbs up or comments or shares, then it'll be seen by more people. But, and that's part, we call that the organic reach. But the paid reach is also very powerful, as we've discussed, because the ability to target the friends of these fans and narrow it down even more by zip code. So if they were paying, they could probably pay $5 to $10 a day and get this seen by another 3,000 to 5,000 people, right? And the reach of 3,000 to 5,000 people in a very targeted way is pretty incredible. Something they can't do with radio, and they can't do with television or newspaper or anything like that. You could do it with door flyers, right? But I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can do door flyers even that cheaply when we're talking about $5 or $10 a day for that kind of reach. So that is, those are 3 lawn service companies here in Austin, and some that are doing things right, some that could be improving a bit, but that kind of concludes what we're going to talk about with Facebook. So we've gone over our full agenda for the day. We've talked about the simple tool for doubling your profits being your email marketing, right? And what you should do from an email marketing standpoint, and give you some ideas there. We talked about laser focused. Well, then we talked to Julian there about Google and how important it is to be found, right? Location, location, location. You are not investing in your retail location. You're investing in your location online, on Facebook, on Google. You're getting seen by people who are ready to buy, and you're building that brand awareness. It's both inbound for people who are looking for you, and also it's building that brand awareness for people that are familiar with your services, and they know they need lawn service. They just don't know who to go to, and luckily with Facebook now, you've got the ability to spread digital word-of-mouth references all across your service area. Lastly, we talked about Facebook and kind of the helpful tips to having an engaging Facebook page and generating leads from that. So that's going to conclude our webinar for today. We've still got a lot of great questions coming in. I see a lot of them are actually specific to your business, and see a couple of them there for Julian. Actually, I'd like to let me see. What are we going to do? So yeah, actually, those ones for Julian, we can answer most of all those for you. After all, we are SEO experts here, and we have the architecture and the methodology that Julian preaches is absolutely what we execute on here. So we can answer a lot of those for you, and if we can't, then we can definitely plug you in with Julian out in California. Let's see. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and call that the end of the webinar for now. Once again, you can jump over onto our website. We've got a click to chat feature, so feel free to jump on and chat with us there. You can also give us a call if you like. You can also shoot me an email. My email address is on the screen here. And so I'd like to thank you for joining us today. Remember, we can serve a variety of your needs. A lot of these things you can do yourself, and if anyone's trying to sell you these services and you have the time and the energy to do it yourself, then you definitely should do it yourself. I know we have some tools that other people don't have, back-end tools, especially into Facebook. We've got the expertise from a Google standpoint. But email marketing, it's something you can do yourself. It's a choice you have to make of whether or not your time is more valuable spent somewhere else or not. And the same way, kind of on posting on your Facebook page. You're the best person to be able to post on your Facebook page, but we also post for a lot of clients because they find their time to be more valuable out in the field and working on operations while we run that kind of legwork. So again, this is Jace Campbell with ReallyLocal Marketing here in Austin, Texas. I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to speaking to you guys one-on-one with any questions you may have after this. And that's gonna be a wrap. Thanks a lot.